Hi everyone, and welcome to American Firearms Network. Thank you for joining us today. Thank you for watching our show. We appreciate it. We hope that you like, subscribe, and share for those of you who have not subscribed yet. We have a good show for you today. This is a show that's out there a lot. It's a very popular subject, but I don't think me and Instructor Paul have touched on this in a long time, and we want to talk about it today. And the topic is, how often should you practice? You went to buy your gun. You might not be a big gun enthusiast. You might just be someone that's into carrying a little bit and have a gun in the house for home protection. Instructor Paul, how long should you be practicing? What do you recommend for the regular firearm owner, not the person that's a freak going to the range all the time, that obviously is in the range all the time? Your regular person at home who doesn't go to the range a lot, but does carry or does have a gun in his home, a firearm in his home. What's your recommendation?
Okay, I would tell you to practice as much as possible. Okay, as much as you can. It doesn't just mean going to the range and shooting 300 or 400 rounds a week. There are other things that you can do in your training, right, to enhance your training. For instance, dry fire. You know I'm a stickler about dry fire.
Yes.
Okay? Being able to draw from concealment very quickly and get that nozzle on target. Okay? So dry fire as much as you can. There's no reason why you can't dry fire every single night. There's no reason. I mean, 10, 15 minutes you can dry fire. There's sometimes I sit in front of the television.
Yeah.
And I'm manipulating my gun. Yeah. Taking out my magazine,
putting it back in, loading it, and
just take my magazine out, load it. Just things like that.
Yeah.
Because Todd, practice becomes permanent. What you practice becomes permanent. How you practice is very, very important. So if you're not practicing, if you're not training, when you have to use that gun in a self-defense situation, you are going to be at a disadvantage. So practice gives you confidence. Practice makes things permanent in your mind.
Right. So let me tell you guys out there who don't practice, who have a gun, who carry, okay? You carry, you're in your car, you're all over the place, you're carrying your gun. If you think, especially these micro 9s or these compact guns, if you think for a second that you're going to be in a situation under that extreme stress, and I hope you never experience that. If you think you're going to be under that stressful situation and pull your gun out and hit the target, you got to be kidding yourself. Just because you have a gun doesn't mean you're able to shoot the person. Mm-hmm. Okay? Mm-hmm. Just because you own a gun doesn't mean you're hitting that person. All right? And you have to practice and train, because target placement, where you shoot at a person and where exactly, okay, plays a difference if you're going to stop the threat. All right? Many times people just think, oh, just shoot them, they'll go down. No, especially a 9mm. If you're not shooting, if it's from the armpit straight across up here, if you're not shooting right here or in the ocular zone, okay, you might shoot them with 4, 5, 10, 15 rounds of 9mm, and they still might be coming after you. Okay? That's a fact. All right? So you got to have some marksmanship skills to you, and you got to practice. But like Instructor Paul said, a lot of that could be done if you can't get to the range, and we know ammunition is expensive. You got to pay for the range time. A lot of the practice, you can get very good dry firing at home. Go buy yourself a Mantis. What is it? The Striker. What's the name of that one? There's several of them out there.
Yeah.
Go get yourself a laser. Practice. You can get pretty good. You still have to live fire and go to the range, okay? But you can still get really good practicing at home dry firing. But don't think for a second, because you own a gun, that you're going to be able to stop the threat. Because if you're not practicing a lot, you're not. I don't care what you say. You're not. All right? Mm-hmm. So it's very, very important to practice. You have to do that. Dry fire. Get in the range a little bit. You can't own a gun and not practice. My recommendation is, like Instructor Paul said, you can do it every day, 10, 15 minutes. If you dry fire 3 days a week and maybe get to the range a minimum of once a month, it should be twice a month in my opinion, if you're carrying a gun on a regular basis. Yeah. Shooting live rounds twice a month. I know some people say once a month. dry firing 3 days a week, going to the range twice a month, and I think, in my opinion, you're in good shape.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah. I remember, I think you, I know you remember this, we were on the range one time, and I thought to myself, you know what, I'm gonna shoot with my carry gun today. All right? So I took, I think it was the Glock, wasn't the Glock 40, was it a Hellcat? I think it was the Hellcat. I took the gun out, this is my carry gun, after clearing it and everything and putting the practice rounds in it. And I pulled the trigger and nothing. And I'm thinking, what's going on with my gun? And I kept checking it. Apparently the spring inside had broken, okay? The spring that attaches the trigger, that broke. And I'm thinking, if I didn't practice, I'd have been carrying that gun around. And God forbid if I had to use it to save my life, I would have heard that noise, which would be nothing.
Yep.
Okay?
Yep.
So practicing is important because it also makes sure that you know what situation your gun is in at any given time. If there's an issue with your gun, it will come up when you're practicing 9 times out of 10. So it's important to practice. It's important to do your dry fire. It's important to check your gun. Do not buy a gun and just leave it in your case and don't go out and shoot it. Go out, shoot your gun, and also I want to tell you guys out there, don't be frightened to go out there and buy defensive ammo and run a box of defensive ammo through your guns. That's so important.
That is very important. You know, you have the hollow points, defensive ammo. That's the only rounds you should be carrying, right? So it doesn't go through any walls or anything else, any other material, and possibly potentially hurt somebody else. You have to shoot. I know it's very expensive. It's very expensive, that defensive ammo. Everyone's like, oh, I'm not shooting that. You need to shoot your defensive ammo.
Yeah.
Okay. Every now and then, you don't have to do it a lot. Every now and then, you got to take a box and you got to go through that and feel what that and feel what that feels like when you're shooting it, for sure. So,
let me say this one thing. I'm going to use this quick scenario. Supposing your daughter, right? She's new to driving, and she goes and she gets her test in Florida. They'll just take you around the corner. You know, she do all the theory work, and then they put her in the car, and then they take her. They say, you got to drive around, okay? And she drives around the corner, and then they say, great, you can handle the car. We'll give you your license. And then your daughter comes home and she gives you a big hug and says, Daddy, I passed the test. You say, oh, great. And then she gives you the car keys and she says she's never going to drive that car again. She's not going to do any driving again. And then after 2 or 3 years, she says, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to drive my car.
right.
She's going to be rusty. She may have 9 times out of 10 forgot everything that she learned. So I'm saying that if you buy a gun and you wait 2 years or 6 months to use your gun after training one time, you're going to be in trouble.
Because shooting, marksmanship, and shooting with a gun, it's not like riding a bicycle. Those skills go away.
Yeah.
They go away after a certain amount of time.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a fact. So, Instructor Paul, you're right. Absolutely.
Yeah. And saying that, my motto, guys, is train. I said the cameraman, he's doing this because he's heard.
Let me say a quick joke. I'm going to say a quick joke. When I just started to get into firearms, Paul taught me, and every week for 4 months he took me to dry fire. Every single week for 2 and 3 hours. Every week we did dry fire.
Yes.
Fundamentals.
But recently I did a qualification, and a lot of the things came back to me because of that.
Yes.
Yes.
Because
Congratulations.
of that.
That's right.
Yes,
Instructor
that's-
Paul just passed his D&G. Congratulations. Instructor Hans, I'm sorry.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. Fundamentals. Training. Being aware of your situational awareness. Sorry, I can't talk today. Enjoy yourself. Have a great day. And God bless and see you next week.